I'm Opeyemi Bamidele. I represent the Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the confirmation of the nominations for appointment as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission of the following: Dr. Salamatu Hussaini Suleiman, chairman; Mmamel Joseph Onyemaechi, member; Ahmad Abubakar Fingilla Esquire, member; Kemi Okenyodo Asiwaju, member; Abubakar Mohammed, member; Okeowo Femi Adeniran, member; Mr. Sunday Etim Daniel, member; Jideani Agabaidu Chukwuemeka, member; Nella Andem-Rabana SAN, member; Azubuike Emmanuel Nwakwenta, member; Jamila Isa Esquire, member; and Idayat Omolara Hassan, member. Mr. President, I so move.
I need a
Excellency and distinguished colleagues, report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the confirmation of nominations of the chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission. Mr. President, may I, at the onset, draw the attention of distinguished members to the last page of this report, being the signature page. And in doing that, I am to inform that in addition to those who had signed the report as of the time copies were produced, 6 additional members had signed the copy that was laid and which is being presented. Senator James Manager, Senator Ike Kuremadu, Senator Aishatu Ahmed Dahiru, Senator Peter O. Nwaboshi, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadeja, and Senator Ifeanyi Uba have all signed in addition to those who had signed before. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate at its plenary sitting on Wednesday, 24th March 2021, considered Mr. President's request for the confirmation of nominations of the chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission and referred same to the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters for further legislative action. The appointments were made pursuant to Section 3(2) and Subsection 2 and 3 of the National Human Rights Commission Amendment Act 2010, with particular reference to Subsection 3, paragraphs A and B, which provides thus: the chairperson and members of the council shall each be persons of proven integrity and appointed by the President, subject to the confirmation by the Senate. It is in line with the aforementioned provision that Mr. President nominated the nominees for appointment as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission with requisite experience in human rights issues, subject to confirmation of such appointment by the Senate. For the purpose of emphasis, the nominees, Mr. President, are Salamatu Hussaini Suleiman, chairman; Mrs. Beatrice Jedy-Agba, member; Ambassador Umar Zainab Salisu, member; Mrs. Dafe T. Adesida, member; Joseph Onyemaechi Mmamel, member. Ahmad Abubakar, Fingilla, member. Kemi Asiwaju-Okenyodo, member. Abubakar Mohammed, member. Femi Okeowo, member. Sonny Daniel, member. Barrister Agabaidu Chukwuemeka, Jideani, member. Mrs. Nella Andem-Rabana, SAN, member. Azubuike, Nwakwenta, member. Jamila Isa, member. Mrs. Idayat Omolara Hassan, member. And Mr. Anthony Ojuku, member. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, because of our time, I'm going to abridge this presentation. I refer you to please come with me Please come with me to page 10. Page 10. Interactions with the nominees. The committee, in the course of its interactive sessions with the nominees, was briefed about the suitability and competence of each of the nominees for confirmation as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission, respectively. In their briefings, the nominees, individually and collectively, demonstrated sufficient knowledge of the law, issues bordering on human rights, as well as contemporary issues. They also outlined their vision for the Commission to ensure that the mandate is carried out without interference as an independent body. Our observations and findings. The committee, having screened the nominees and as well considered all the necessary requirements for appointments of this magnitude, do hereby outline the following as our observations and findings. 1, that the substantive executive secretary of the Commission, who is also a member of the Governing Council, by the virtue of his position as the executive secretary, having been screened hitherto by the Senate for the present position, was not screened by the committee along with the other nominees forwarded to the Senate for confirmation. 2, that the representatives of the Federal Ministry of Justice, Foreign Affairs, and Interior, i.e., Mrs. Beatrice, Jedy-Agba, MNI, Ambassador Umar, Zainab, Salisu, and Mrs. Dafe, Adesida, are ex-official members who do not require confirmation by the Senate because they don't have voting powers on the Council of the Commission. And 3, that in line with the enabling law and the Paris Principles, which set international standards for human rights functions, the appointment of members of the Council or Board of the National Human Rights Institution should be open, transparent, and consultative in nature in order to ensure the independence of the institution. That the appointments of the nominees satisfy the requirements of Section 3, subsections 2 and 3 of the National Human Rights Commission Amendment Act 2010 and the Senate Standing Orders 2015 as amended. 5, that the nominees possess the requisite qualifications, competence, and comportment to discharge the duties and functions of the Governing Council of the Commission. 6, that there is no petition against the nomination of any of the nominees before the committee. Our general observations. In view of the issues raised in the course of the screening exercise, it is imperative for the committee to give an insight on the nature of the appointment generally. In this regard, we hereby highlight our general observations as follows. 1, that in the course of carrying out the assignment, the committee was guided by the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 2, that Section 14.3 of the Constitution requires that the composition of the government of the Federation or any of its agencies should reflect the federal character principles. Furthermore, Section 3.2 and Sub 3 of the National Human Rights Amendment Act provides for the composition of the Council to consist of the chairman and members of the Commission who shall represent various interest segments of the human rights community. However, it is noteworthy to state that the composition of the Governing Council of the National Human Rights Commission, as presented to the Ninth Senate, does not comply with the provisions of the Constitution as it relates to the federal character principles. For the avoidance of doubt, the composition of the Council, as per geopolitical zone, as presented to the Senate, is as follows. Northeast, number of nominees, 0. State of origin, 0. Northwest, 3 nominees, including the chairman. State of origin, Kemi. North Central, 2 nominees. State of origin, Kwara, Kogi. Southeast, 4 nominees, including the Executive Secretary. State of origin, Imo, Enugu, Anambra, Imo. South-South, 2 nominees. State of origin, Akwa Ibom, Cross River. Southwest, 2 nominees. State of origin, Ogun and Lagos. That it is imperative to state that absolute compliance with the provisions of the Constitution is not a choice, but a fundamental obligation imposed on individuals, government, and all its functionaries, as encapsulated in Section 13 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That human rights issues do not only affect a segment, but cut across all parts of the country. 5, that the Senate does draw the attention of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation to the lopsidedness in the composition of the Governing Council of the National Human Rights Commission, which is an infraction against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. 6, that the Senate and indeed the National Assembly do not only make law, but also ensure that the laws are complied with through the mechanisms of checks and balances. Therefore, it is our duty to draw the attention of the executive, who is saddled with the responsibilities of making nominations for appointments into any position in the country, to ensure compliance with the federal character principle in line with the Constitution. Our general remarks. I wish to humbly implore the President of the Senate and indeed my distinguished colleagues to approve the recommendation of this committee on this screening exercise in the national interest. This request is predicated on the fact that due to non-compliance of the government to constitute the Governing Council of the Commission for about 3 years now, the Grade A status conferred on Nigeria by the United Nations General Assembly on Human Rights has been under threat. As such, it is incumbent on us as responsive legislature to ensure that Nigeria is not downgraded after striving assiduously to attain this current status a few years ago. Accordingly, I hereby request the Senate to dispassionately and magnanimously consider and approve this report. Our recommendation: the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, having screened and after a careful scrutiny of the curriculum vitae and other accompanying documents of the nominees and being satisfied about their exposure, experience in human rights issues, performance, qualifications, and competence, hereby recommends that the Senate do confirm the nominations of Dr. Salamatu Hussaini Suleiman, Joseph Onyemaechi Mmamel, Ahmad Abubakar Fingilla, Kemi, Asiwaju-Okenyodo, Abubakar Muhammad, Femi Okeowo, Sunday Etim Daniel, Barrister Agabaidu Chukwuemeka Jideani, Mrs. Nella Andem-Rabana SAN, Azubuike Nwakwenta, Jamila Isa, and Mrs. Idayat Omolara Hassan as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission, respectively. I so submit, Mr. President.
Mr. President, permit me to commend the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, and Legal Matters for a job well done in respect of the screening of these nominees. That said, Mr. President, when one looks at the resume of each of these nominees, one will see that all of them are qualified to hold the saddle of the position that each of them is nominated for. Having said so, Mr. President, I want to urge my colleagues without much ado to give their approval for the confirmation of these nominees. Mr. President, I so submit.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the report, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on the Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the screening of Mr. President's nominees for appointment as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission, and approved the nominations of Dr. Salamatu, Hussaini, Suleiman, chairman, Mmamel, Joseph, Onyemaechi, member, Ahmad, Abubakar, Fingilla, Esquire, member, Kemi, Okenyodo, Asiwaju, member, Abubakar Muhammad, member, Okeowo, Olufemi, Adenirong, member, Sunday, Etim, Daniel, member, Jideani, Agabaidu, Chukwuemeka, member, Nella, Andem-Rabana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, member, Azubuike, Nwakwenta, member, Jamila, Isa Esquire, member, Hidayat Omolora Hassan, member, as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Salamatu Hussaini Suleiman, FIMC, as chairman of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Salamatu Hussaini Suleiman, FIMC, is hereby confirmed as chairman of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mmamel Joseph Onyemaechi as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The confirmation of Mmamel Joseph Onyemaechi is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Ahmad Abubakar Fingilla, Esquire, as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Ahmad Abubakar Fingilla, Esquire, is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Okeowo Olufemi Adenirong as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Kemi, the nomination of Okeowo Olufemi Adenirong is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Sunday Etim Daniel as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Sunday Etim Daniel is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Jideani, Agabaidu, Chukwuemeka as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Jideani, Agabaidu, Chukwuemeka is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Nella, Andem-Rabana, SAN, as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Nella, Andem-Rabana is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Azubuike Nwakwenta as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Azubuike Nwakwenta is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Jamila, Isa, Esquire as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Jamila Isa Esquire is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Idayat Omolara Hassan as a member of the National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Idayat Omolara Hassan is hereby confirmed as a member of the National Human Rights Commission. Well, congratulations to all of them, and let me join our colleagues who commended the committee on this for performing this very important role. And the committee has raised some observations, and I want to reiterate here that the executive should take very serious note of the observations raised in the area of ensuring that there is compliance with the constitutional provisions for appointments like this. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President,